Loopers. We can hear ourselves. That's right. When the mic is on no hit. And we can hear ourselves. And the podcast has started. And we are on the podcast right now. I do feel morally and legally obligated to inform you two that we are in fact recording. Okay, good.
I knew. I wasn't giving up the bit. Like, come on.
Oh, the jubblies were out over there.
Shake it out for a second. That was fun. That was an original.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're welcome.
If you can believe it.
Well, Maris kicked us off. I like it.
Welcome to Loopers. This is the podcast where we start one place and then we ADHD out. And oftentimes we end in a completely different place from where we started. But we hope to circle back to a topic, loop back, multiple times.
Is that why we named the show Loopers?
Yes. If you do remember.
I was in the room.
It's true. Speaking of origin stories.
Yeah.
I think that's what we are going to get into today. How we got into
Lay radio.
Well, somebody text us, as you can, on the Morning Mosh Pit show, and they text in and they asked us, how'd you guys get into radio? And it's a lot. These are long stories for the radio.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we figured we'd do it in loopers.
We can't do it in short form.
Yeah.
Like, we're all talkative in normal basis, so.
And if you've been a listener of this podcast for a while, you've heard me and Maris's story. So I want to start with you, Mikey.
Okay.
Okay.
I was a moron growing up. I had a hard time in school. I didn't even realize at the time I had ADHD. So when I got into college, I was in my first year of college, and I just knew something wasn't right. And I don't mean that in a bad. I mean,
No,
I thought there's something. I'm not retaining this information. I'm being forced to pay for it myself.
Yeah.
I didn't have a free ride. My parents aren't rich. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I was sitting in a college parking lot one day and listening to just like the Kiss radio, like a Z1, like top 40 radio.
Yeah.
And this dude comes on and he's like, hey, we're the new morning show in town. We want people to come in and try out. Come down to the radio station today. We'll let you in. You can tell a joke on the air and try out. And I just finger in the air. I thought, that's what I want to do with my life.
There you go.
And so I literally just quit college right then, drove down to the radio station, knocked on the window that's between the lobby and the studio so they would let me in because I could tell they were trying to ignore me.
They
So I
would
was
call security.
Yeah, exactly. And they let me in, and he goes, all right, be funny, which is not a nice thing to do to someone because then it's like, how can you be funny when someone says it?
Yeah.
I told a joke. It was dumb as I was walking out of the building. I was walking past the gold records and stuff, and I thought, yeah, this feels way better than college. And that was 24 years ago.
Wow.
Damn.
Crazy.
24-year career.
Crazy.
Wow.
I can't even believe it, man. A couple years off in there in the middle just because radio's crazy. And sometimes it's hard to get jobs and stuff
I
like
was
that.
about to say, but then how did you start? Did you start on air or were you doing behind the scenes?
I started
things?
answering phones for the morning
Okay.
show.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, so
Okay.
that morning show, I told them I had an internship, which I never had, and so they'd always come to me and they'd be like, "We got to talk about your internship paperwork," and I'm like, "Yeah, sure."
Yeah.
And I didn't even have a key to the building.
That's hilarious.
And I would wait in the parking lot until the host showed up, and I would just go in with him and never said anything.
Yeah.
And eventually, I did enough that they had to start paying me.
That's
So
crazy
funny.
because that will never happen again.
I know, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
I look
that's
back on
true.
that, I'm like, boy, I really could have been paid a lot of money if that internship was paid. But even back then, real
Or
internships
real.
weren't
Yeah.
even. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So yeah, that's 24 years ago.
You were
So-
probably less abused, weirdly, by not being a real
Yeah, that's
intern.
probably true. Yeah, yeah.
So I know most of this journey, but in your 24-year career,
Yeah.
take us on how you got to us, to here in Chicago.
So I got on the air finally by myself doing something called the Saturday Night Dance Party.
I was about to say, how? And what was your first on-air shift like?
Saturday Night Dance Party. It was
Okay.
a mix show
Oh.
where you'd put on a CD, yes, and the songs would mix together and you just talk over them. So you know how, Maris, when you're running the board in here,
Yeah.
you stop the song and you start the song. You didn't touch anything else. It'd just come in and you'd be like, Z100, Portland's #1 hit music station, the Saturday Night Dance Party is on, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
and then do that. Eventually from that, I got a job doing nights at the alternative station in town and also working on a morning show at the same time. That's how I got the night job. I told them I would do mornings too. So, yeah,
Oh.
which is them just taking advantage of me, which is awesome.
That's
It's
what they do.
very typical.
Yeah, and then ended up to start moving around the country because that's kind of what you have to do. I
Yeah.
went to New Orleans for a minute. I came back to Portland. I went up to Seattle, and then I went to Virginia. And then from Virginia back to Seattle, then to Colorado, then to here.
Got you.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
All right, your turn.
Wild. So I talk about this a lot, but my dad was in radio.
Mm-hmm.
He worked with ABC Network, syndicated. He worked with the stations right next to us, V103.
Hey, do you want to pretend that you do
WGCI.
radio for a living and like get on the mic or something?
Nepo, baby.
Thank you, Jesus Christ.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is, he tried to move his microphone and it pulled the screen out from in front of Maria.
Yeah, whatever. I don't need that screen right now.
I was just sitting comfortably. But yeah, no, my dad worked with the stations that are here in the building with us in iHeart well before iHeart was ever a thing. He worked with XM, he worked with ESPN, he worked with a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I've always been around radio. It's been in my blood for my entire life. And being the laziest smartass that I know, I thought about doing IT, and then I just could never.
Like IT and radio?
No, like just IT,
Just
in,
IT in
general.
general? Yeah.
And I was just like, I can't do this. Those nerds.
If you're saying that.
Yeah, no shit.
And then like we were getting ready for college, and like I was undecided, and they're just like, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? And I was like, let me hang out with you for a week, Dad. And just saw that and got a little bit more behind the scenes look into it. So
It's tasty.
yeah.
There's a lot of fun that goes on behind the scenes.
Oh,
It
yeah.
doesn't feel like work.
No.
Yeah.
And
No.
you do have to put up with an inordinate amount of BS because it's a hard job to get, and people kind of get, you're always sort of worried and wondering because the business is tough.
Yeah.
But it's worth it, in my opinion.
If you can make it, it's worth it. Sometimes people give up decades of their life getting underpaid because they think that there's something more when really the carrot has been dangled just a long time.
Yeah.
Right.
And there are some people that I'm like, I wish I could just say to you, hey, man,
Yeah.
it's not going to be worth it for you, but
Well,
that's shitty.
How about IT?
That was kind of like the driving force, because I had a high school counselor, and she was like, well, what are you going to do? And I was like, oh, I'm thinking about radio. You're never going to make it.
She said that to you?
She's like, that's not going to be a lucrative option, and it's really hard.
Well, it's
and
not
this,
lucrative.
that. True.
It
But
can be.
But it was
Maybe someday.
it was you're not going to make it. And I was like,
You're not going
proved you wrong.
Yeah, good for you.
So studied radio, TV broadcasting at Bradley University. Got my first internship with what was Regent Broadcasting at the time. Rose the ranks there from part-time board op. Got a weekend shift about a year into being part-time with them on a rock station.
Nice.
And it was the wildest thing, because I was so keyed in on, I'm going to be in hip hop, I'm going to be doing pop radio. And then my boss was like, hey man, you know rock, right? And I go, yeah. And he's like, well, we got a slot. You want it? And I was like, yes,
Damn right.
absolutely.
Like, yeah.
Did I know all of the artists on the station at the time? Yeah, because I had been dealing with the internship, so I had become familiar with a lot of the artists because they were coming in and out of town, and I'm learning their stories. So it was an easy switch to flip, but nowhere in the early phases of anything did I ever anticipate that rock was going to be the guiding ship that was going to lead my radio career.
Yeah, that's incredible.
And I know there was another black guy on a rock station out of Pennsylvania. We're scarce.
Yeah.
We're endangered species
Yeah.
over here.
Yeah.
That's cool. But you love, interestingly enough, kind of when you were coming up and sort of making that transition was the Limp Bizkits and the Linkin Parks of the world,
Yeah.
sort of mixing the hip hop and rock too. That's kind of fun.
And that's really the thing that brought me in, the MTV generation side of it, because you would get a rap rock remix with different hip hop artists and rock artists. Korn,
Yes.
Notorious. Oh my God. Like,
Jay-Z's remixes with
Yeah,
Linkin
with
Park.
Linkin Park.
Dust Off Your Shoulders.
like,
Kid Rock.
good reference.
Ba with the ba.
Da bang, da bang.
Diggy, diggy.
But strangely enough, I've never had a real interview in my entire career.
Like where you flew in or you
Like,
sat, you didn't know.
I went to my internship interview, and she's like, okay, nice to meet you. Good to know these things. Do you want the job? And I was like, yeah, of course I want the job. Then I rose through the ranks there, and I left Peoria, Illinois, because I needed something new. My mom was just like, come home. I came home. I traveled for a little bit, and then after wasting a summer's worth of money,
I know, it's so expensive.
I hit up iHeart. Derek Brown, a family friend, hit him up, and I was like, hey, I see you guys are hiring a board up. And he called me and was like, wait, you want to board up? And I go, yeah, I need money
I
right now.
want to be in the building.
I'll take it. Which
Yeah.
is, by the way, a great move.
Yes.
Like, it's always get your foot in the door because you can work from there. People think that you just got to come in and be a DJ. It doesn't work that way.
99% of the time, it's the only move that you can make.
Right.
Serious.
So I was like, yeah, I'm trying to, I want to get back in, are you good? And he's like, wait, how many years did you spend down there? And I was like, roughly 9. He was like, oh, let me call you back. 2 days later, he was like, hey, when can you start?
Damn, nice, dude.
And I was like, oh, urgent? And he goes, yeah, bad.
So nothing's changed.
So
good.
So it was so wild because he brought me in and handled all my paperwork.
Oh.
I've never known a program director to
Damn.
handle paperwork. And
What's up, James?
Sure as shit, 2 weeks later, I got to go back down to the HR office. They're like, all of this is wrong.
Okay, never mind. Yeah,
So
yeah.
we got to get you back in. But I started as a board op, and I was board opping for GCI, V103, and 1390. And just working through and just constantly available, knew what the hell I was doing, quick on the draw to figure things out, did maybe 6 or 7 months here, and they had a promotions director opening. And somebody was walking past, and they go, hey, you used to do promotions, right? And I go, yeah, I was promotions director. And I'm like, hey, there's this link. Go check this out.
Yeah.
So get that interview. And it was one of those things where I could tell they had been through a few rounds, and they were just like, we need to land somewhere. And they're like, hey, you managed 5 stations and we're on air? And I go, yeah, it was a small market. We had time.
Also, it's radio.
Right.
No shit.
Yeah.
So landed that. James was sent to us by a heavenly angel, and we got Rock 95.5. And I had known James before, and I was like, hey, man, if we ever get to a rock station like DC 100 or 101,
101.
DC 101, I'm all in. He was like, okay, Rock 95.5 is born. I'm banging on James's door, and it took about a year and a half after the station started, but then I got on with Rock, made the jump to mornings, and here we are.
Yay!
What is this station came out of the ashes of like Hop Along 95.5? What was the
Big
Was it,
95.5.
it's big.
It was country.
Oh, it was. Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking. Maybe it's Hop Along. Hop Along Howdy on Big 95.5
They only play Easter music.
That's funny.
Here
Not the
comes
Christmas
Peter
station.
Cottontail.
Just remixes of Here Comes Peter
Down
Cottontail.
the bunny trail, hippin' and hoppin' and Easter's on its way.
It's fucking
You know what
Thanksgiving time.
One thing I love about radio is the different ways you can get in and the different stories. Maria, I think that you have one of the most original stories.
It really is.
And it's really cool and a testament to not only you and your talent, but our boss's talent.
Yeah.
And his eyes and his, he's our boss. Let me just say this. He picks only the best talent in the world. and they all have M names. It's crazy.
You know he doesn't listen to this, right?
He doesn't have time or give a fuck.
Set the stage for you in Washington, D.C.
Yes, in Washington, D.C., in Adams Morgan, there I was.
And Adams Morgan is a neighborhood?
It is,
Okay.
in fact, a neighborhood. You know what's really fun is there's a bar in Adams Morgan called Madam's Organ.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's been there for like ever, too.
That's
It's a
beautiful.
jazz club. Yeah, it's really dope. Anyway, I was bartending. I was in acting school at the time, and that was apparent in my bartending.
Yeah.
And James came in. He had a DC 101 hat on. And
Did you recognize that and understand?
I
Like
was
you're
a
like,
P1 to
DC
DC 101 before I knew what a
interesting.
P1
Oh,
was.
so when he came in, I bet
I
you
was
were
like,
just.
DC 101.
Yeah.
But I was like, play it cool, play it cool, play it cool. Meanwhile, my boss at the bar was literally, I shit you not, he would give James like a drink, because James was drinking for free all night as soon as we saw that DC 101 hat. Like this to
Just like
James
a
the entire night. He was like,
schoolgirl
so
crush.
tell me about DC
That's
101.
tiring. Hey, how many rock stars have you met? Tell me who. Tell me about it.
But that was fine because it was making me look really cool and casual just through juxtaposition.
I was gonna say that's a hard job right there.
Yeah, well, good cop, bad cop, going. Annoying cop, cool cop going on.
Casual. I've never been overexcited about anything in my life. No, yeah, he had the DC 101 hat on. I knew what DC 101 was, but I also had a busy bar in front of me, so it took me a second to really give him any attention.
And if you don't know, DC 101 is a legendary radio
Howard
station.
Stern started there.
Alternative station out of Washington, D.C. Been there forever. Just anybody in our industry knows, like, damn, DC
Grease
101.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a legendary station. So, yeah, super dope. Also, we'll get more into that, but very privileged in my radio journey because, like, I know that I've worked very hard and that the kids tell me I'm talented, but it does sometimes feel like I got
What was
things
that
served.
word you used?
That's cool, though.
I know.
It's
It
just
feels like
another
I
way to
got
do it.
served it on a silver platter. So, yeah, James comes in.
How long had he been coming in?
That one was his first night, but we didn't exchange information yet.
Okay.
So the first night he comes in, it's just him with his DC 101 hat on, with Andrew sorry, Andrew, with my boss at the bar just being like, wow, DC 101 is so cool. And then I'm like slinging drinks and then also trying to like banter with him a little bit because I'm like, I want to know more about you because I didn't know who the fuck he was.
Yeah.
Even I just knew he had a DC 101 hat on. So I'm like giving him shots of whiskey, trying to bartend over here, trying to like get enough of my personality out to this dude because I want to be on that radio station.
Right.
And he was like, so Maria, like, what are you doing now? And I was like, I'm in acting school. And he was like, well, I don't know how much more school you need, which, by the way, music to my ears. I always want to drop out of school. That's my favorite thing to do with school is not do it.
It's like a theme in the radio business.
Yeah, no shit.
It really is.
And like he kind of joked with Andrew about stealing Andrew's my boss's bartender.
I bet when you heard that, you were like,
Steal me.
Legit, I was like, please, dear God. But
she
also,
handcuffed herself.
legit, but it's truly not the first time like someone's been like, oh, I'll do like this thing with you. And I was like, I hope, but I didn't know James yet. So I didn't know that he's like a guy that actually like does shit that he says he's going to do. It was this whole new thing. So he leaves and I'm like, that was cool. Cool as fuck. Really dope bartending story, but probably the end of that. Then he came back 2 weeks later and he had Klinger, who is afternoons on Rock 95.5, but he was at the time nights on DC 101.
Mm-hmm.
He brought Klinger in. He brought Stax. He's imaging director for Z100 in New York now, but was imaging director for DC 101 at the time.
That's a big deal.
And they had their significant others with them, and they had just come off bottling like gin or something at a distillery.
So fancy.
Very fancy, but also very drunk.
Yes.
And then they all came into a dive bar and ordered fucking martinis. And I was like, yeah, okay. How the fuck do I make a martini? Oh, good. It's just a bunch of fucking gin and like put some vermouth and then throw it out. Here's your martini. And then he was like, let's exchange information if like you're actually interested. And I was like, yes, I'm actually interested, obviously. I think he had me read a menu. Yeah, he did. He had me read a menu to Stax. He was like, listen to her voice. But I was jaded by my bartending, so I'm like, Bikini Atoll, cherry rum, and Coke. It's a cocktail. And he was like, well, in spite of the derision, the tone's great. And I was like, great. So then we exchange information, and then it's like 2 weeks until I hear from him again.
I hate that.
Which
is my
is so
least favorite thing about this.
Yeah.
This job, I talked to James and didn't show up here for a year.
Yep.
That's how long I waited and was wondering. And you want it, like, it's the thing, you want to hit him up, right?
Mm-hmm, but you don't
want
to
be too much because you don't want to screw it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sucks. So I feel you on that.
So I think I hit him up like 2 weeks after that because, again, I didn't want to be too much either. And he's like, oh, sorry, I was like out in L.A. And I was like, oh, my God, he goes to L.A. That's so cool. and he was like, but I'm going to be back in the building like on Tuesday. Can you come in? And I was like, yes.
Whatever you need, so.
You tell me when. I'll quit right now. And so I go into iHeart. And as you know, when you first walk into any iHeart building, it's a fucking maze.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, I don't know where I am. Everything's red.
So much red.
Yeah. And he's like giving me the spiel and stuff like, oh, 94% of Americans listen to radio still. And it was like, yeah, I'm a bartender. Like, you don't have to make the fucking sale. He had me sit with Stax again and just see where my voice was at, like on a mic. And I did like some like fake imaging copy. And they were like, say DC 101. I was like, DC 101. And then Stax was like, okay, now like take it deeper and take your time with it and enunciate it. And I was like, DC 101.
Is that how you say it on the air?
That's how I said
Give me
it.
does DC 101 have a tagline?
I think it's just DC's alternative
say it
rock.
like you're going into a break, how you said it.
Well, now it would be different, but like for how I did it there, it was DC 101, DC's alternative rock.
That's pretty cool.
And,
That's pretty damn good.
And Stax goes, she can be coached. Yeah. And I was like, so you like me? Yay!
That's cool.
And then James like brings me back to his office and he's like, so are you down? And I was like,
Down
yes.
for what?
Yeah.
What am I doing?
Seriously.
But again, and I can't emphasize this enough, yes, but
And
what?
You didn't go into a weekend shift, right?
No.
You went on the air full time?
No.
Oh.
No, I didn't know anything about
I thought you started doing nights or something.
No.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't know anything about radio at all whatsoever. So first we had to get past the like technological barrier.
Right.
So first it was board opping. And then they threw me on overnights just to see if I would
Fun.
do a good air shift.
I like overnights.
But that was only like 3 shifts.
Yeah.
And then they threw me on weekends, and I got weekend shifts right away, which I didn't realize how cool that was.
Yeah.
But shout out Roach, who literally pulled, because he made the schedule, he pulled me aside. He was like, do you know how many shifts most new part-timers get?
Yeah.
And I was like,
Years
no. And he was like,
sometimes.
0. Well, yes, because years. But,
Yeah.
And I was brand new.
Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And so he was like, usually you're not getting any shifts. And he's like, and you get a shift every single weekend this month. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
cool. And then Klinger one time was like, they're starting you in Market 6. And I was like, I don't know what that means. And he was like, James will help you. And I was like, I hope someone has to.
Klinger seems like a guy who's been doing this for a long time, just slogging through for a long time, too. That's
Yeah.
fun.
And then, then I did DC 101 fill shifts, and then a spot opened up on the country station for nights. And I was like, I don't know if I like love the concept of me in country, but I
It's
was a
also
country girl.
A job.
It was a job.
I'd like to hear how that sounded.
I can do country.
Just read the station.
98.7 WMZQ.
It's so interesting how different it is, though. So you're smart enough to realize that those are 2 different audiences, and that sounds good. Sounds very pop country.
I'm just talking to 2 different people.
Yeah.
With rock, I'm talking to a dude.
Yeah.
You know, who likes to drink
Who
beer.
likes a breathy voice.
And play cornhole and like fucking whatever. We go out to rock shows together and we toss them back and like yada. And I'm being bartender me essentially on a rock station. And on a country station, I'm probably talking to a woman.
Yeah.
Who probably has her kids in the car, and we're yapping about Target, you know, and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then I did, I wanted just a full-time gig so bad, so I stayed in that seat on that fucking night show on that fucking country station for 10 months.
Hey.
10 months!
You gotta
They
put in the work.
didn't give me the goddamn job. Thank God.
Wait a minute. You were just filling in?
Yeah.
And they didn't give you the gig after
For
10
10 months.
This business sucks
I was going to
sometimes.
say, that's very radio, unfortunately.
Yeah.
However, but also it's because I had eyes on me like James, who were like, she
interesting.
can do that, but that's not where we want her. So then a gig opened up in Charlotte, and boy, oh boy, was I not the first to hear of that one. So immediately applied for that, and then I was like, I don't even know if I'm going to get it. What if they don't even like me? And James is just like quietly sitting in his knowing, being like, yeah, of course they're going to
Shut up.
chill.
Shut up and
Got
let it
you.
work.
Whatever, like just wait. So then I got the gig in Charlotte. That was a glorious 18 months before the culling of 2020.
Oh, radio.
And I got let go. And then, so I get let go in January of 2020. Then the pandemic hits. We all lose our jobs.
Yikes.
I have to move in with my parents. Everything a person in their mid-20s who's married wants to do. And then James texts me in July of 2020. And he's like, hey, I'm like talking to the bigwigs. I think I've convinced them to start this rock station. Would love to have you on it. And my unemployed ass being like, yeah, I would love to be on it.
Let me check my schedule.
Please
Oh, empty.
and thank you.
Would I like to go from Market 24 to Market 3? Yes, please.
Yeah, right.
XOXO, yours truly. So then, text in July, hired in October.
It's the worst feeling. It's
I
just,
know. Well, I think technically September hired because paperwork, and then on air October.
Well, and then what are you going to do? You go like get another job somewhere?
No, you
know what I
can't.
mean? No, you're waiting because you want this one, but you wonder if it's going to happen, but are you wasting your time now? It is so tough.
Yeah. It also just like the self-esteem too of losing your job. Because the thing with,
Even if it's not your fault, it still sucks.
and they always say don't be so job identified, which fair, but radio is a very specific job where like it is your
It's a
identity.
lifestyle.
Yeah. And also, my job is to be Maria Palmer.
Yeah.
That's the most identity fucking focused a job could get.
And I think that was my favorite part about getting to work with James and being on air. Because I think in Peoria, I was trying to be Maris, but it was a different Maris. And by the time I talked to James and we were talking about on air, he was just like, here's how I want it to go. Because we had that relationship where he was like, all right, I want you to be in your comfort zone, and this is how we want to position you. And I was like, oh, that? And he was like, yeah, just do that.
Yeah.
And here we are with the nerdy fuck that loves sports.
Yeah.
And I continue to appreciate that he was able to pull that side out of me, I guess.
Just standing over here and working with you guys a lot, the more authentic you both are to yourselves, the one, I think better the show is, but two, the more I feel connected to you. Like, Maris, when you're being Maris, I love me some Maris.
You're welcome.
I think about Maris when I'm walking the streets on the weekend. I'm not even kidding. Songs you've sung, things you say. You're so funny. And Maria, obviously, well, we know.
Yeah.
I think there was an HR training on that.
I think I just did it. And I was late.
But you did it.
I
to
did
be
it.
clear, on air.
It's done.
You completed your HR training.
Don't come at me.
And we
Gerard.
did it ourselves, and we didn't pay other people to do it for us.
But real quick, do you guys remember your first time on air? And
Yep.
How chaotic it was.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
terrified.
We voice tracked. And there's two of us getting trained to voice track at the same time.
And voice tracking is recording your voice in so it sounds like you're on the air, but you can do it a number of times. If you mess up, you can go back and redo it, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So they show us how to do it, and I sat and I did it, and I did the same break 30 times.
Same.
He came back and was like, oh, you're almost done. And I was like, no, I'm
almost done with this one.
I'm still here.
Yeah.
And he just looks at me and goes, hey, let it go.
Yeah.
Get it done. Let it leave your brain. Move on to the next one. You're not going to be perfect.
Yeah.
And then the first time I did live on the radio, it was wild because there's this big rush of energy, and you're thinking about all the people that you're talking to in that one moment.
Yep.
And you're sitting in the studio by yourself. It is wild. And it was very interesting to me. Working for a radio station that I didn't know that well.
Yeah.
But everybody in Peoria was so attached to it. When I started going out and doing events, they're like, oh, hey, Maris, glad to see you're on, man. I love what you're doing, blah, 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 blah. This is cool. And I'm like, I don't know you. What the fuck? Like, it was just so weird that just being embraced that quickly just for joining the station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My first air shift was an overnight. DC 101's a live station.
Yeah.
So I was live immediately with no prior radio experience.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so.
See the pool? That's the deep end. Kick. Right in the back.
What I've learned, though, is that's where I thrive.
Also, you learn fast that. You have to learn fast.
I am a trial by fire kind of bitch.
Yep.
And it works
radio's
for me.
not that serious. So it's like if you mess up,
But you
what you
feel
thought
like
it was
it
right,
is.
especially in the beginning. You
like
miss
it
one
is.
word and you think your career's over.
Yeah. Well, that, and it's like, I want to make sure I'm not accidentally pulling us off the air. Like, let's make sure all the elements are firing. I don't think I was even keeping us on time yet. I didn't know, because, hi, Kling Ding. One time I was covering for someone who was going in right before Klinger, and I didn't know to keep the station on time, and I think I had pushed his hour like 7 minutes. I had no idea. I had no fucking clue. And so he obviously comes into the studio, is like, what the fuck? Why are you 7 minutes into my show? And I'm like this new green, like, I don't know why. What
I don't
are you
even know what that
talking about?
means.
What? And he's like, well, straddle, spot block. And I'm like, you're just saying words at me. I don't know what any of them mean.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry.
We did not have that in Peoria. If we had the show on time, that means we hit close to the top of the hour.
Yeah.
We never really were real specific about time with us either. We'd go over a few minutes.
We were. And I found out.
It's important because you're trying to program a station so that people listen at certain times, and if the timing is off, it screws everything up.
Yes.
Yeah.
But my first night on air, my fucking adrenaline just
you can feel it flowing through your body.
God. And when I tell you, I just watched the screen. Because, like, here's the thing. You do maybe 30 seconds of talking if it's a long break. I almost ate the microphone.
Chip a tooth.
And then you have minutes in between. So it's not like I couldn't have sat down, gone to the bathroom, but my adrenaline told me, you better fucking stay right here.
What if it goes off air?
Make sure shit doesn't go wrong. Make sure you're still on the air. And then what I didn't know is at night, the stream changes. So if you're listening on the app, you can be different from what you were hearing on the terrestrial radio. And I had friends that were like obviously pumped to support me that wanted to listen to my first air shift. And so then they start texting, why can't we hear you? And I'm like, I don't know. What have I done?
Yeah,
oh my
you
God,
start
why'd you
thinking
take me off the air? And so then I'm like texting James because I'm freaking out. I'm like, I think I might have fucked up. And he's like, nope, stream's just different. Sorry, I should have told you that. And I was like, okay, my bad. But basically my career was just me panicking and James always just calmly being like, you're fine.
Yeah.
Everything's okay. And I was just always like, it doesn't feel okay. It feels like everything's going wrong.
And now it's just fun.
No, it's the most fucking fun. But just little me being like, I can't move. I can't go anywhere. I have to watch the whole time is hilarious. Like for fucking 4 hours.
Yeah. What about you, Mikey?
Yeah.
What's the question?
Your first
on-air
Well, my
shift.
first on-air shift, the first time I ever put my mouth to a microphone was on that morning show.
Yeah.
And I was in the other room answering phones. I'd never been even in the main studio. Really, I mean, I've been in there momentarily, but they're like, hey, come in here, Michael. And as I'm walking up to that microphone, I'm looking at the end of it, just the tip. And I'm literally, like, I can remember specifically, I'm envisioning thousands of people in the tip.
Which is so funny.
Yeah, and my brain just starts going, oh no. And they asked me the question, I just went, kind of like I do now. But it was terrifying. It was just like cold sweat all of a sudden. I was like, oh God.
Oh,
but
man.
I mean, then we made it.
What about the first, but like your first shift?
Same. You're just white knuckling, I think.
Yeah.
And one, boy. And then,
Oh?
Well, I didn't get the CD to work one time. I didn't get it on in time. So then the whole mix is off. The problem was I was a little bit late. And I didn't think so, but the commercials, because it's a CD, if you guys think about this, it's just commercials in the log.
Right.
So there's no music to break it up. So if you don't put the CD in and play it, at the top of the hour, it's just commercial. And I'm in the parking lot, like I got a few minutes, and I'm going in, I hear it, just commercial. I'm like, no!
Oh.
Run up there, and our night guy, the hotline rings, and the hotline is a blinking light that the program director usually calls when you've done something wrong.
And it's better to just kill yourself instead of answer it. Yeah.
But it was our night guy, and he goes, hey, man, what's going on?
Thank God it was the night guy.
Yeah, I was like, did you hear that? And he goes, oh, baby, we all heard that. He goes, we are laughing our asses off out here. And I got the music on and go, he didn't tell the boss. Boss didn't hear it. It's one of those times when you're like, whew.
What a blessing of a person to not tell the boss.
Shout out to CK and the Bad Boy Broadcast. Love that guy.
I've been snitched on before to a boss.
I hate that.
But I can't fucking say who it was.
Snitcher.
I've never been
You
fired.
Maris, you're such a
Nice.
loyal, good employee, though.
I've been let go,
Prompt.
but not fired.
Yeah.
Have you been fired?
Many times. One, you know how we were talking about voice tracking? Well, when you're voice tracking, you have to take the microphone off the air.
Oh, no!
I didn't take it off the air and thought it was off the air. So I'm in the studio thinking that I'm doing something that's not going out on the air, but the microphone's up, and I'm going, what was it? It was, 94.7 NRK. Ah, damn it. All right, hang on.
Whatever.
So then you hear, like, the computer keys tapping, and it's all over the air. And I get up, and I'm like, 94.7 NRK, Bush coming to town. Bush, fuck me. And then I start swearing because I'm getting frustrated. Studio door kicks open. It's our sales woman, like our boss of sales, a lady who never comes in the studio. Her head sticks in. She goes, honey, you're on the air. And I knew right then. I was like, oh, this is over.
Yeah.
And sure enough, it was over.
I have done that.
Yeah, you fucked yourself with the cursing.
I've tracked, but I wasn't cursing.
Yeah. I know. Well, that's what they say. Never swear. Well,
I just said fuck, and then I was like, let's make sure.
You're checking the board.
I'm out of program. Yeah, we're good.
That's one of those things where it was the hotline would ring like 2 minutes after, but it was the listeners. They'd be like, hey, man.
Yep.
Hey, we can hear you.
I started getting texts. Like and my phone was upside down, so I would have got the texts, but I didn't see them. Of course, it's on silent.
No.
That was one of the times I got
There
fired.
was one night while I was board hopping and still just getting the swing of things. I turned one of the stations off.
Oh,
and
no.
and just walked away. I didn't realize it, and the PD called the cell. He didn't even hit the bat phone. He's like, hey, man, you doing your rounds? And I go, yeah. He's like, when's the last time you checked on the hip-hop station? I go, oh, yeah, I was just in there. And he goes, oh, so you know it's off. And I was like, I run in there, hit the button that I had, like, you graze a button, and it just flips the switch, and he's like, hey, it's, it was like 10 o'clock at night. He was like, don't do that ever again.
We used to do fun stuff in radio too, man. We did mushrooms one time, and we went in.
Jesus Christ.
Now, I can talk about this now.
You deserve whatever happens.
No, it's so fun though.
So
Like
stupid.
it was the middle of the night. We weren't on the air or anything, but we had in Portland, Oregon, we had studios that were attached, and you could see into each one. So 4 of us guys did some mushrooms. We went in, put everybody in a different room, and then just kicked a beat and just freestyled and just goofed off and freestyled. Like radio really is. I'm getting goosebumps a little because it's a tough business, but it is so worth it if you can do it. And just, I've had such a great time.
And it's like you said, we've all had a different route, and I'm glad I got to mess up and market 153 so I could learn what not to do by the time I got to Chicago.
Why you haven't been fired? You learned your lessons.
Whoops.
Same.
But it was one of those things where I had it in my head that I needed to start small to go big.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. But like talking with a lot of people, you can start in market 3 and be successful. You can start in market 1 and be successful. It's just whatever you want your journey to be, what you want your path to be. You got to be ready to embrace it.
Just be nice to people.
Well, and also recognize a lack of control. And
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah,
I still struggle with that.
There's just nothing that you really get control of. You can control the content that you put on air.
I was #1 in Seattle for 7 years, and one day a program director walks in. We're still #1 at that time, and goes, "Hey guys," goes, "turns out smooth jazz is going to be big next year, so we're flipping the station. It's been fun." And that was it.
Well, wasn't it a huge year for smooth
it
jazz
was
after
nothing.
that?
I don't know. You may have even been lying.
I don't know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. Smooth jazz blows up the charts.
Crazy.
So the 95.5 signal used to be one of the biggest smooth jazz stations
Really?
around WNUA.
Oh my God, that's how we're going to fucking lose our jobs again.
Smooth
they're going
jazz
to come
is
in,
back.
they're going to be like, smooth jazz is back.
Good thing we can transition.
Oh.
WNUA.
Yes,
95.5.
Smooth jazz. 95.5.
It's close. It's very close to what the actual, like, the little jingle was. But I just remember, like, listening to that station as a kid, knowing shit about jazz. But it was just like, oh, it's such a big deal.
I like jazz a lot.
So once streaming came around, it just picked up, but it just couldn't continue to hold.
Let me take that back. I hate jazz. It's the worst thing I could ever listen to. Nobody wants to listen to it.
I think we should have the scat station.
That'd be
Ma'am.
cool.
No.
Well, wait a minute.
No.
Oh, well, we got to end this.
Bloopers.